Hello and welcome to Digital Farm TV Rural News. I'm Andy Walker. Farm management deposits are likely to smash through last year's $5 billion record to reach more than $6 billion as the tax year ends on June 30, according to NAB Agribusiness this week. FMDs allow eligible producers to set aside pre-tax income in good years up to a total limit of $800,000. which was then available to draw on in future years when it was needed on farm. GM Khan Horn said that agriculture was seen to be enjoying a golden age of record returns, and a lot more producers were now taking advantage of FMDs to put cash aside for the future. Australians wanting to achieve a healthy glow to their skin this winter should ditch the tandoori tan and reach for some fresh veggies instead, according to new research from the University of Newcastle. AusVeg said this week the research found that young Australians believe that the glow gained from eating fresh vegetables and fruit was considered to be more appealing than melatonin-generated sun exposure. The predominantly female participants in the study believed that facial skin coloration with higher carotenoid content and decreased melanin looked healthier than the other options. Biosecurity officers seized more than 6,760 items of biosecurity concern from the Gold Coast Airport last year, up 15% from 2015. Head of Biosecurity at the Federal Agriculture Department, Lynn O'Connell, said this week the increase in seizures at the airport was a concern because exotic pests and diseases had the potential to damage Australia's way of life. An emergency animal disease like foot and mouth that wasn't present in Australia could be imported by an overseas traveller bringing in meat, she said. ABARES modelling had calculated that an outbreak of foot and mouth could cost Australia more than $50 billion and wreak havoc in our livestock industry. Meat and Livestock Australia will invest up to $10 million to co-fund the installation digital X-ray scanning systems in red meat processing plants, following processor requests to accelerate the adoption of the new technologies. Under the project, MLA will work with willing partners to develop a single scientific measurement of lean meat yield. They would also develop systems to co-use data for future R&D in genetics, animal health, automation and on-farm and off-farm productivity improvements. MLA Managing Director Richard Norton said this week the objective scanning installations would be funded by matching contributions from participating processors and the MLA donor company. Australia is on track to adopt some of the most sophisticated plant pest surveillance technologies in the world after Horticulture Innovation Australia secured a federal government grant and other funding to drive a $21 million plant biosecurity push. A $7.4 million grant will complement more than $14 million in investment across the 7 plant research and development corporations and partners such as the CSIRO, universities and state government agencies. HIA Chief Executive John Lloyd said this week the new project, which will begin in July, will further safeguard Australian agriculture from pathogen and pest incursions. The early detection and identification of any new pathogen or pest was critical, and a preemptive approach was vital to control, Lloyd said. The Grains Research and Development Corporation this week announced the final phase of an organisational restructure that started more than 18 months ago. Managing Director Dr. Steve Jeffries said that the Australian grains industry had changed tremendously in recent years, with substantial advances in technology, consolidation of farms, climate variability and market shifts. Where GRDC was a minor investor in RD&E 10 years ago, it was today the major investor. These facts were drivers for structural change to ensure the agency was appropriately equipped to invest in RD&E outcomes that growers most wanted and valued. Finally, in Western Australia this week, WA's biggest meat processor, V&V Walsh, plans to have the first shipments of its fresh chilled young lamb product air freighted into China next month, according to The Countryman. The shipments will be the fulfilment of a dream for brothers Peter and Greg Walsh, since being granted unprecedented access to the market in 2015. Since then, they've been working with their import partners to trial their chilled lamb product with Chinese consumers. The processor has a unique export licence to China for chilled lamb and beef, the only one of its kind in Australia, with growing demand from the developing market expected to result in the need to expand its Bunbury, WA processing facility. Well, that's it for Digital Farm TV Rural News this week. I'm Andy Walker. Look forward to your company again next week. Bye.